Hey everyone, welcome to The Cave. Today we're going to be channeling my childhood self to talk about one of my favorite DC shows of all time, Young Justice. So, did you know that Young Justice is a show? It has Robin as Kid Flash, it has Superboy, but not always Superman. It has Aqualad, and as while I am 100% certain that the discussion on who's winning the movie game between DC and Marvel is about to change real soon, it's been no secret that DC hasn't exactly been killing it. While the MCU is releasing more bombs than the IRA, DC is really only failing less because they won't even release finished movies. But the failures of my beloved Detective Comics at the box office drove their real good stuff underground. Putting out movies like Green Lantern and Batman v Superman was clearly just a ruse to make people think DC sucks, right? I can't believe that I own this. Ooh. Just under the surface of the most mainstream form of comic book media, that being the movies, lies a whole holiday spread of incredible stuff. The video games, the animated movies, the CW...
The one thing Black Flash can't fight, cold.
But the absolute peak, the best DC has to offer, besides the comics, the absolute creme de la Kirby, is the animated shows. From the detective mysteries of Batman the Animated Series to the wide-reaching galactic adventures of Justice League, Young Justice is the best one. I don't care, it is. Fuck you. In 2010, DC began to air a spiritual sequel to their hit 2000 series, Teen Titans, after its first spiritual sequel, Teen Titans Go, was received like smallpox blankets. Even though that one's kinda good sometimes, too. Frick you. Where Go took the serious shonen anime style of the 2003 Titans and tuned it to be a little more shoujo, a little more comedy, Young Justice brought back the sauce. I mean, they whitewashed it first, but whatever. Young Justice took the somewhat linear storyline of Teen Titans and juiced it up to be a full-on narrative show. But they also took out all the anime. Because things can't be too good here on Earth. But it is what it is, live and let live, and it's 5 o'clock somewhere. R.I.P. Because today we're going to be talking about the first season of Young Justice and why it is still so fucking good. Young Justice follows a team of young heroes called the Team. They operate out of a cave hollowed into the side of Mount Justice that they call the Cave. The initial team is Robin, Kid Flash, Aqualad, and Speedy. For like a solid 2 minutes.
I thought I was his partner, but not anymore. Guess they're right about you three. You're not ready.
And to cope with the deep pain of losing one of the boys, they have to recruit 1.5 people and 1.5 aliens. The leader of the team is Aqualad, also known as Calderon, when he isn't absolutely bodying people with hydrokinesis, electricity, and straight-up magic. He's a tough, reliable guy, but he's also got a squishy little jellyfish heart. He longs for his friends and love back in Atlantis, and isn't just a strategist, but a source of strength for the entire team. Robin is probably the closest thing the show has to a main character, but is absolutely a fan favorite. While Robin in Teen Titans was a bit more of an edgelord, the Dick this time is just silly. He's a bit of a mix between the original high-flying Dick Grayson, my personal favorite Robin, and Tim Drake, my personal least favorite Robin. Except for the girls, ew. Speaking of girls, ew, Miss Martian and Artemis are some of the best additions to the team. Artemis, the niece of Green Arrow, a very important Justice League member, absolute goat, he's like if Bruce Wayne was cool and sexy, anyways. Artemis gets called in as the pinch archer when Speedy walks, trying to make friends with her new teammates, while Speedy basically just trash talks her from the sidelines. Artemis's family ties lead her to conflict with the team, drawing more and more ire from those who are suspicious of her, and earning the trust of a few of them. Miss Martian, the niece of Martian Manhunter, which also I kinda doubt a whole other species has like the same family structure we do, but whatever. McGann, or Megan when she's rocking the Earth Girl skin, is one of the best members of the team. An empath like Calder, she's able to connect with the more closed off on the team, becoming close friends with Artemis. But she's also a complete psychic powerhouse, said to have a more powerful mind than even Manhunter himself. But where McGann's psychic touch really mends wounds is on Connor, a clone of Superman who before he ever had a name was called the Superboy. McGann is able to communicate with Connor in a way that actually works for him, having been held under psychic duress in the cloning facilities of Cadmus. A government-funded hellhole dedicated to pushing the limits of what God would permit and delving into complete sci-fi horror. And speaking of sci-fi, we have the absolute Reddit atheist of the team, Kid Flash.
Wally, you don't believe?
Fine, I lied about believing in magic. But magic is the real lie, a major load.
Wally West, the first Flash to give the character a personality, sprints onto the team to be wrong about everything, get his ass beat, and take L after L. I really relate to him. He's your basic, silly, comic relief speedster character at first, but the longer the show goes on, the more and more you realize what he has going on under the hood. My favorite episode of the first season, Cold Hearted, basically focuses entirely on Wally. While the team and the Justice League work together to take down massive, weather-altering ships in the atmosphere, Wally is essentially tasked with being a DoorDash driver. On his birthday. Queen Perdita of Latava is in hospital on the other side of the country in urgent need of a heart transplant. Due to the massive blizzards caused by the main, fun, awesome action set piece in the sky, Kid Flash has to run a donor heart across the country in a matter of hours, or she'll pass. Now, in most Flash stories, this wouldn't even be a piece of cake. This is like a crumb of bagel. This is the easiest job ever. 5 stars and a tip. But this is why keeping super speed maybe a little slower than a faster than light deity is a really good idea. Kid only has a couple of hours to get there, and while we never get a precise speed on Wally, he seems to be going only as fast as something actually tangible, like a fighter jet or 2 cheetahs taped to each other. He also has to contend with traffic, ice, and his own metabolism. As a skinny little soy boy, Wally has to keep snacks on him to stay topped off, and worst of all, he's stupid. Wally gets tricked and sidetracked by villains, not knowing how to stop himself from being a hero. He has to screw up and just barely claw the heart back into his arms to save the life of the young queen, who normally I would say doesn't actually deserve power and riches just for being born, if she weren't keeping her insane evil uncle with puke powers from the throne.
That was nauseatingly familiar. Count Vertigo.
One of the things that's made Young Justice hold up so well for me is the great bench of DC heroes and villains they're working with. And you know what they have in common? They would both like, subscribe, and comment, baby. Let's go.
Identify future squad team members. And spotted. Nicely done. You can soar like a superhero with a Young Justice fingerboard in your McDonald's Happy Meal.
There are smaller villains that only appear once or twice, like Red Volcano basically is the evil uncle of the team considering he is Red Tornado's brother, Red Tornado basically being their nice dad of the team. He's also a robot. Unlike his kind-spirited and nurturing brother, Red Volcano is an absolute freak and the Dr. Umar of robot race realism.
We're not human!
Apologies. I suppose the properly inclusive term is meatbags.
Tornado's siblings even overwhelm the cave with force, managing to capture everyone who has a superpower. Homefront is an episode all about Robin and Artemis. They have to hide in the vents and try and sabotage their own headquarters to even have a chance against foes like this. Artemis freaks the hell out and has to subsequently overcome her insecurities to save the team, while we and her get a look at the odd, calm way Robin can act in a situation like this, a level of numbness no doubt developed in the Batcave. But when Robin is able to let his guard down and maybe even get a little nostalgic, we see a bit more of his soft side. In performance, the team infiltrates Haley's circus under the guise of being a new troupe. Robin uses his detective skills to track down who in the act could be connected to a string of robberies. But this isn't a mission assigned to them by the League or Batman like usual. Dick is sending them himself to save the circus that his family, the Flying Graysons, headlined for years, the last connection he has to them. The episode is warm and touching, as this is probably the closest look we get at Dick Grayson as a person across the entire series, with the cherry on top being a great use of the mystery villain. But if you want all of the villainy and none of the scenes that make you cry, then we're throwing you in prison. Crime, cowardice. In Prison gives us one of the most pure fun episodes of the season, Miss Martian and Superboy infiltrating Belle Rev's super penitentiary. Seeing the inside of the most famous prison in all of DC gives us not only a great chance to see our villains at rest, kinda, but we also get another fantastic version of Amanda the Wall Waller. Waller being one of DC's favorite characters to absolutely adapt to a T. The Suicide Squad, the new Superman show, the CW.
I knew you had a capacity for the unfathomable, but I actually underestimated you.
What do you want, Amanda?
To help you.
Belle Rev gives us a chance to link up with Icicle Jr. again, a hilarious recurring villain. A good old southern boy who just wants his paw to love him. And would be real good in some sweet tea, yeehaw! Young Justice has a vested interest in introducing these junior characters early on. Since our leading cast is younger, having them fight villains in their age bracket is really engaging, especially the more we see them return. Another character who achieves the same, although in appearance only, is the witch boy Clarion and his familiar cat Tickle. Clarion is immature and annoying enough to be a great teen villain, but is an actual Lord of Chaos and can go toe-to-toe with Dr. Fate himself. Now, if you want a villain who may not be able to drop tilted towers with the boys, but is an absolute psychic powerhouse...
Mr. Simon, are you alright?
Simon the Psychic is the only villain who is able to actually give Miss Martian a run for her money. He breaks up the team on his very first appearance and returns only to hang an axe over Miss Martian's head, blackmailing her with secrets he found snooping around in her psyche. And if age is a reasonable determining factor for how absolutely screwed the team is, then they will never be ready for the Vandal Savage. Vandal was a caveman gifted with immortality, and over the decades he has been countless warlords and conquerors before the age of superheroes. He's like if Kang was a cool character. Vandal is not only one of the threats Kid Flash faces in Cold Hearted, but is the leader of the Light, ironically a shadowy organization made up of the best of the worst of the DC universe. The Light's roster has some heavy hitters who wouldn't be caught dead not being in the Illuminati, like Lex Luthor and Ra's al Ghul, but has some deeper cuts across the DC pantheon that I won't spoil right now. Young Justice Season 1 is a fantastic portion of superhero TV. If you want to replicate the viewing experience that made me fall in love with it, watch it for the first time at a sleepover at your rich friend's house while you eat his rich person snacks. I think I've stayed spoiler-free enough considering this show came out 13 years ago, basically the Stone Ages, but I'm bored now, so get out of here if you've had your fill of spoilers. Go on, get! Count Vertigo, Ocean Master, Cheshire, Queen Bee, Black Manta, all fantastic recurring villains throughout the series, but the one who infiltrates and breaks the team apart is someone special.
So Speedy, you in?
Pass. I'm done letting Arrow and the League tell me what to do. I don't need a babysitter or a clubhouse hangout with the other kids. Your Junior Justice League is a joke. Something to keep you busy and in your place. I don't want any part of it.
Throughout the season, fingers have been pointed at every new member of the team, Artemis, Miss Martian, and Superboy being the biggest suspects. They're practically a bunch of owls, hawks, and snakes. 'Cause they're trying to hunt down a mole, baby. Roy Harper slash Speedy slash Red Arrow slash Clone being the mole really ties in the team emotionally with the betrayal, Roy being the one member that they couldn't get to join them. But it also brings together nearly every plot from the season, with the final threat being composed of magic, comic book technology, alien DNA, and like concentrated evil. And the final episode sees the team go up against a brainwashed Justice League. With the show so far being all about how they don't stack up to the League, this is an incredibly satisfying finale. I don't know when, but I'll be talking about the ups and downs of Season 2 next, and when you come and join us here again, I'll be sure to say,
Welcome back.
Young Justice Season 1 is one of, if not my favorite, single season of DC superhero TV that there is. I think that is a great gift to give yourself this holiday season if you really like superhero stuff at all, or if you like DC at all, especially. But that is the video for this week, y'all. I'll see you next week. Goodbye. Hey everyone, thank you so much for watching that video. If you made it to this point, a special double thank you as always. Thank you very much. Yeah, I really love Young Justice Season 1. Season 2, I have a lot more problems with. I want to get to that pretty soon, hopefully. I'm really excited to put this video out. I hope that people like it. I would really like to talk about this series more. I actually have not seen the 4th season at all, so I'd really like to be able to get to that and review it on this. What I'm showing off for my collection this week is my Ultimate Edition Blu-ray of Batman v Superman. I bought this, like, when these came out, so when I was 15, I did not have a very good, like, opinion of movies. I didn't watch many, like, different types of movies growing up, so I just didn't, like, form that, like, well-rounded of an opinion on them until, like, 5 or so years from now. But, I, even, like, coming out of Batman v Superman, I thought that it was good, but I was disappointed by it. I knew that. But I thought that the Ultimate Edition would make it all better. And this is a better movie than the theatrical cut. It's quite a bit better. It's still not good, I don't think. But it's kind of a cool box set. It's got some concept art in there. Yeah. I'll see y'all next time. Goodbye.